Hey guys, Artosis here, bringing you some more CasterMuse Narak StarLeague. Right now, we are in the very final match of the round of 16. This is Group D, and the winner here will be our last contestant moving on to the round of 8. We have here on the left-hand side a former MSL champion. It is Mind. And over here, an up-and-coming Zerg player, it is Absolute. Definitely, I would say I favor Mind here, but we'll see what Absolute can bring to the table. I think Mind has been playing fantastically lately. He really seems to be grinding, seems to be in good shape. So excited to see what he can do in the tournament. Might even be one of the real favorites at this point. Well, which is funny to say, right? Because he's always in the final match. He's not actually winning groups, but still, that's the true Terran way, is to grind it out. Anyways, before this really gets going too much, I do want to thank you for checking out ArtosisCasts. Hope that you guys are enjoying. Please hit the subscribe button and please hit the notification bell. You know, we have a new cast every single day, and I'm really happy with how it's all going. And if you'd like to support it more, there is a Patreon. It's patreon.com/Artosis. And yeah, you can check that out. Thank you very much for everyone who has already. I really appreciate you guys. So, Sylphid, what do we need to know? Sorry, what do we need to know about Terran vs. Zerg on Sylphid? Well, first off, the important thing is that mutas are super strong here, right? The naturals are very, very harassable. Like, for instance, here, you have a couple of high ground areas where the mutas can go back and the turrets will stop shooting. At this base, this is actually the hardest one because this patch cannot be defended by mineral patches, really. Like, you can basically get one missile turret shot off for every SCV that dies here. So that's, like, literally losing forever. The natural here is a lot easier, but the main base is harder. So this map is really oftentimes dominated by the harassment of Mutalisks, right? So that means that as a Terran player, you want to take certain approaches. Like, we might see Mind here go for like a quick +1 and 4 barracks. We might see him go for a quick Valkyrie rush, something like that. It's hard to say, right? Like, you don't know how he wants to end up playing it. But like, if you try to play like a more standard map, you would play like a Vermeer or a Polypoid. You might end up in trouble against very strong Mutalisk control. So just something to keep in mind. Now, that's a very quick layer, and I'm not surprised to see it, right? That was like a 246 layer from Absolute, and like that's why he wants to get Mutalisks out ASAP and get that damage done. So Mind sees that. He knows the timing of it. He's gonna have to start his turrets a little bit earlier and really focus on that anti-Mutalisk, play. Now, one thing I want to mention here is he's going to barracks and he's doing it with a wall. So this is the only area where anything can really get in, which means that he doesn't need a bunker. So that's like a very nice thing to do on the map, but that does give you another area where the Mutalisks could theoretically harass. Honestly, it's kind of a funny thing. Like, the depots being out front actually get abused more at lower ranks. It's not the highest value target, basically, for the Mutalisks, right? Like, the Mutalisks could kill depots, but overall, like, a strong player, you'd rather them put their damage onto depots than SCVs, for instance. Either way, we'll see if Absolute ends up targeting those down as well. He has the Spire already on the way. Zergling speed is coming up also. Down here, in the meantime, Mind has his academy about halfway done. Everything is very well defended. Obviously, he can't really be broken through this very small hole up here. And, I mean, this is about as standard as can be. Mind not doing anything too far out of the ordinary with his opener here. Like, we're not seeing, the quick +1 that I was talking about. Instead, it's just a 2 racks academy rush. We'll see if there's actually going to be a third base on location anywhere. I think that there will. There's not that many Zerglings that have been made at this point, right? So there goes the Zerg up to about 12 o'clock. It looks like he'll probably throw his hatchery down here. Now, if Mind immediately makes a beeline for this base, he will be able to force a cancel on it. There's enough vision coming in from Absolute. He's going to know if he's going to have to cancel a hatchery. It's not likely that it'll be caught off guard, like it'll finish and then Mind will kill it or anything like that. So let's see what Mine's choice is. Okay, we just heard a scan. It hits the main base. Sees the timing of the spire. That's very, very important. For a missile turret starting, when the Mutalisks hatch, you have to have all your turrets started, basically. That's kind of the timing. Like, the amount of time it takes for the Mutalisks to gather up and fly across the map, gathering up meaning they all, like, go to the same place and get on top of each other. That's basically how long it takes to make a turret, right? So you want to make that as close as possible, right? So he'll start his turrets, like, just about now. You see the Mutalisks are all popping just at this moment. Starting to fly across the map. We have turret, 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 right? And he starts them from the bottom that's near Zerg and works his way up. This is exactly how you want to end up doing it, because you just, like, you want the areas that they can get to first to be defended. And as you can see, just perfectly timed here. You notice the Mutalisks are not together yet. See, now they're grouped, and you see all the turrets finishing right at that time. So you can see the timing of these pros is just next level. Absolutely on top of everything. The turrets up here, obviously you have to fly around. He made this turret first, and we'll fill in the other ones over time. Now, as far as bio goes, we have that +1 on the way. We have the range upgrade also, and a lot of turrets being made right now. You have to make sure that you have enough turrets. Again, it's just such a strong map for these Mutalisks. Now, the third base has been taken, and in fact, taking that extractor super quickly as well. So it looks like Absolute wants to make a lot of Mutalisks this game. Now, the Mutas dive in, and he is going to end up probably losing a Muta here. He's got 2 that are very, very damaged. Actually flies beyond everything, and will go after some of this the main base SCVs. But pretty well-placed turrets there as well. So he actually ends up losing no Mutalisks as of yet, but has taken damage on quite a few and hasn't killed that many Marines yet. 33 SCVs is pretty solid on 2 base for this stage of the game. Right? Like, that's a pretty normal number that you'll be sitting right around there during the Mutalisk phase. And then once you get more tech up, that's when you start building SCVs again, like once the factory starts, basically. So we can see, yeah, he has started some SCV production here once again. The Mutalisks still roaming about a bit. 3 gases are up, so he can support about 9 Mutalisks per minute. That is a lot of mutas, but you have to decide, like, okay, are we going to go into lurkers here as well? Are we going to get scared of the amount of bio that's going to be put out here from Mind? And we'll see about that. Like, this is not that many Marines yet, honestly. He's standing in an interesting area where it's harder to flank, right? This is not like a high ground or anything, but it makes it so that Zerglings would have to come in from one of the sides and can't come from all around. So it's kind of like blocking the sides. No flanks can really occur. And it's, you know, we see here it's like, what, 15 Marines? You definitely want your +1 to finish before you do a true move out, and you generally want about 20 Marines at least. Right, he's got 4 medics. That's very healthy. But yeah, 20 Marines, 4 medics, +1 attack and range. Once you have all of that, you really can start to roam a little bit against the mutas. But you have to be careful. If Absolute just keeps making mutas and keeps making lings, he can go ahead and eliminate that Bioforce, even one of that size. And this is a lot of mutas, so he has enough. But we have the Lurker upgrade on the way here as well. See, Lurker upgrade about 1/3 the way done. Hive being started here as well, about 25% of the way through. In the meantime, second starport being made, going up to 4 racks, getting that science facility, continuing the upgrades forward. And this is a lot of bio now. 5 Hydras are being made, so like that's the moment. This is the scariest part of the game right now for Absolute. If he gets his lurkers finished, he's basically completely safe, and we go into the next phase of the game. If he doesn't have his lurkers ready and this Bioforce gets to his natural, there's a possibility that he ends up taking a lot of damage or even losing the game. Now the Muta's flying away. Still has a fair amount here. Mind actually scans right there and sees that the lurkers have not even started morphing. Uh-oh, there's some real potential for damage. Like, the Mutalisks haven't done as much as Absolute was hoping. That is for sure. He's down to a much lower count at this point. There's no sunken colonies over here. 4 lurkers are being made, so he might actually just end up getting those in time. Mind continues to move down. And notice how Mind is not rushing it. Like, this is definitely something I see Terran players do sometimes. We're like, oh, there's no Lurkers. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Okay, well, now he attacks into the Lurkers, which is poor. But instead, he killed a lot of Mutalisks there, which is a fantastic play as well. The Lurkers end up being hatched and saving the day here for Absolute. But the amount of Mutas he spent definitely puts an advantage to Mind. I definitely like the position of Mind a bit better. Now, looking back at Mind's base, science vessels are being made. We have the second eBay coming up. 1-1 is almost done. And this is going to be 6 barracks. So that's considered full production. 2 engineering bays, 2 starport science vessel, and 6 barracks. That's 2 base full production right there. Generally, you won't end up going too many more than that. You can, of course, as you can do anything in Brew War, but not going to be the case oftentimes. A lot of people, in fact, stop at 5 barracks, but 6 is going to be very, very good production. And with the Lurkers everywhere, with Consume on the way, seems like Absolute is going to be pretty safe. He is down 15 workers at the moment. Popping out some additional Lurkers now. Just stacking them. This is so that you cannot irradiate more than 1 Lurker at a time. That's not a perfect stack. The last one that went on is slightly off, but you probably can't irradiate the one to the side. You probably wouldn't even try, because if you double irradiate, that would be terrible. So he knows at least 2 are there. But yeah, this really slows it down, right? If oh my god, he's going to try to break. Here we go. The Marine stims in with Defense Matrix, and Absolute doesn't retarget. There we go. There's the retarget, but it's not going to be enough. Comes up and kills off the vessel that still has energy, but there's not many units here. That Defense Matrix Marine being so tough still. Lurkers pour out of that Nidus and do end up holding on. A nice move from Mind, but Absolute continues to stay in this game. Restacks his Lurkers up. And some good tactics there from Mind, but not quite able to break through. Now, over at Absolute Space, he is still a little bit drone low, you can tell, right? 5 drones here. Okay, this is pretty healthy. This is very healthy, but definitely could utilize a few more drones. Definitely want to be in the 40s at this point. Ultra's Cavern coming up. 2 more macro hatches. So he's going to be on 6 hatchery macro. Mind rotating down. Looks like he wants to hit this natural. The natural with no real static D, just Lurker defense. Gonna go ahead and make one of these creep colonies. Another Lurker is gonna be busted. Uh-oh. This is bad news right now for Absolute. He tries to unburrow. Ooh, a very nice move moving back, but the Lurkers are gonna get busted there as well. Another one hatches. And down goes the Darkstorm with nothing underneath it. Every Lurker dying just before the Darkstorm gets up. And down will go the Nidus as well. So only whatever pops out of eggs can actually fight. But he's not even going to let it get under the Darkstorm there either. Beautifully done from Mind. And that should actually be game then. GG. Very decisive win from Mind.